Your Excellency, the Vice President, my dear friend and colleague, Professor Kithure Kindiki, the governors, my fellow governors who are here, Governor Jim Orengo of Siaya. Jim, can you wave to the crowd? Governor Arati from Kisii. Governor Wanga Gladys from Homa Bay. And Governor Ochila Yako from Migori. Governor Ken Lusaka from Bungoma. And Governor Nyaribo from Nyamira. As you can see, the shakers and movers of change in this part of the world are these governors. Karl Marx once said that philosophers have described the world in various ways. The point, however, is to change it. Therefore, as I welcome my colleagues, the cabinet secretaries who are here, principal secretaries present, invited guests, ambassadors, and conference attendees, I am going to address you on behalf, first, of the chairman of the Council of Governors, Governor Abdullahi of Wajir, who is not here today, representing the whole of the COG, and my colleague governors who are here today. Your Excellency, I bring the apologies of my chair at the Council of Governors, His Excellency Ahmed Budahi, the Governor of Wajir County, who was to be with us here today, but because of challenges occasioned by intra-connectivity, is unable to be with us, having hosted the President in his county the other day. Your Excellency, this brings to the fore the need to enhance the capacity of our airports to international standards so that as a country, we can be properly connected. I will be sharing his thoughts with this congregation as I make my remarks on his behalf. And I will give the organizers his own speech, which he wanted to present here, but I think he should go into an annals of history that he gave a speech. I feel privileged, therefore, to address you on this important day of this great LREB Nyanza International Investment Conference, coming just 2 months after we hosted the 4th African Sovereign Government, Sub-Sovereign Governments Network Conference here in Kisumu, in collaboration with the African Export-Import Bank, Afri-Exim Bank, and the United Cities and Local Governments of Africa, USA of Africa, which resulted in investment deals worth $1.7 billion being signed. I am happy to report that Kisumu was not left behind and signed a $40 million financing for the construction of a pharmaceutical factory. My colleague governors from the region were here, and since then they have developed rapport and relationship with Afri-Exim Bank to look into investments in the Nyanza region as a whole. Very excited, Your Excellency, because these important conferences, including this, are important for the economic growth of the region. We show Kisumu as a choice destination for international trade and investment conferencing as the headquarters of the Lake Region Economic Bloc. And we show the Lake Region Economic Bloc as an important market and investment opportunity for investors. On behalf of the county government of Kisumu and the LREB community, I would like to thank the organizers, our professionals from the Lake region for this vision and for choosing Kisumu as the host of this first conference organized by professionals. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you wearing 2 hats. As Governor of Kisumu, the conference that hosts and the chairman of the Lake Region Economic Bloc. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to welcome us all to Kisumu as the host. Today, it is my pleasure to don my LREP chair hat and to address this gathering on behalf of my colleagues at the LREP Summit. With great hope and optimism, we have all gathered in this lake city of Kisumu today to redeem this region, transform its thinking, and reclaim its lost glory. Napoleon Hill, a famous American writer, in one of his great books stated thus: "That which the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can be achieved." I do believe that what we have been doing here in the Lake Region Economic Bloc as governors is transform what we conceive and believe to achieve development in our region. For over 61 years, this nation, and particularly the LREP Nyanza bloc, has conceived great ideas and economic recovery strategies to catapult this great nation to the next level. We have believed quite rightly that these ideas can only be best harnessed and realized through a cohesive and unified political and collective leadership. From yesterday through today and tomorrow, we are gathered here as leaders and potential investors, partners, and people from all walks of life to explore the bloc's tipping points for the new investment opportunities available. Generally, the regional bloc boasts of a business-enabling environment that portends minimal risks to investors, courtesy of the able county governments and the Lake Region Economic Bloc. It is a leading financial hub with a range of qualified investment managers, from small niche investment firms through to the national headquarters, where several of the world's practicing wealth management firms reside. With its position in its population of 14 million people, the bloc accounts for 40% of the Kenyan population, contributing almost 50% of the Kenyan economy, forming a formidable market for investments. The overall objective of the bloc is to leverage economies of scale and shared resources in order to grow the economy of the region and improve the livelihood of the people. To this end, we have policies and programs aimed at widening and enhancing cooperation among the member counties in economic and social development, such as agriculture, health, education, transport, and energy supply. It is therefore envisioned that this conference will unlock by stimulating investment growth across the counties in the Lake Region Economic Bloc, by bolstering economic independence, and by seizing the proposals and ideas that have been emerging in the county and making them a reality. The key development opportunities for the bloc lie in the currently unexploited expanse of the region's natural resources. There are very well-known gold deposits in Kakamega, Siaya, and Migori, as has been mentioned, that need to be fully harnessed for both job and wealth creation. Agricultural potential exists in the whole region. Migori County has a greater potential in building on sugarcane and tobacco farming, as well as fishing along the Lake Victoria coastline. Kisumu and Homa Bay counties have potential for rice and cotton farming, as well as the cultivation of sorghum and sugarcane. Most of these projects form the traditional mainstay of the bloc's economy and need to be sustainably harnessed for the good of our people. Indeed, we have gone further and recognized energy and the insufficient supply of energy as one of the weakest links between this economy and the international economy. And we believe that if the national government can take steps to make sure that energy supply and production in this region is adequate, I assure you that it will help in promoting development in the area. As we have pointed out in our LREP blueprint, the natural resources of the region can also be tapped in the area of energy generation. Rivers in the region offer opportunities for the development of hydroelectric power in Sondu Miriu, in Kisumu, and Nyamira counties. Further exploration in this regard also needs to be done other rivers, such as River Kuja and River Awach. By the way, you must know the Sondu Miriu project that we are all talking about all the time, that dam was conceived in 1951 by the colonial governments. But for various reasons, it was never implemented, which I don't want to go into. But time is now for that dam that can generate so much energy to be implemented by the national government. The sugar sector remains unexploited as a major investment in the Lake region. It is a major employer of rural populations and contributes to an estimated 15% of the agricultural GDP. As a bloc, we congratulate Parliament for fast-tracking debate on the Sugar Act and the President for promptly signing it into law. This is a major outcome of the Sugar Task Force, to which LREB leaders played a crucial role. Approximately 250,000 small-scale farmers, predominantly from Lake region, operate in the sugar industry and supply over 92% of the cane milled by sugar processing companies. This underscores the importance of this sector to the region's economy. Further, Mr. Deputy President, the industry directly and indirectly employs approximately 6 million Kenyans. The sugarcane industry has additional economic impact due to its contribution to Kenya's foreign exchange through exports, such as providing inputs into other industries. The bloc envisages programs focusing mainly on enhancing job creation for youth and women, improving food and nutrition security, improving policy frameworks, and creating an enabling business environment. These projects were anchored on Kenya's Vision 30 and the Big Four agenda, and were meant to help LREB achieve its economic blueprint, broad agenda. The blue economy, ladies and gentlemen, has a great potential to contribute to a higher and faster GDP. To benefit fully from this subsector, we need innovation and growth in the marine and maritime sector. The opening of the shipyard at the Kisumu port is aimed at boosting the blue economy opportunities. Therefore, we thank the government very well and the shipyard company for initiating these making of fiberglass boats at our port here in Kisumu. The shipyard has overseen the design and building of MV Uhuru 2, which is ferrying goods to Port Bell in Uganda, and the rehabilitation of MV Uhuru 1, which is doing the same. We must invest in modern ship and boat building, which includes replacing the old-fashioned wooden boats with safer fiberglass boats. This is another impactful opportunity to invest in. So far, a number of the Lake riparian counties have partnered with the Kenya shipyard to sensitize the lake operators on the benefits and need for this new boat building technology. At LREB, we have unfulfilled dream to establish a regional bank. It's a dream we must not let die. When Governor Oparanya was chairman of the Lake Region Economic Bloc, I remember him and I went to the Treasury to try and establish this bank, and we had the money, but the government Treasury could not approve a bank created and organized by the Lake Region Economic Bloc. I think now, Mr. Vice President, that issue can be revisited. I appeal to especially because of Pranya is now in government, together with other colleagues. I appeal to LREB members to ensure this project becomes a reality, even as we work to settle legal and legislative hurdles around it. Equally, we invite investors to buy into this dream. Another area ripe for investment is aquaculture, and much has been said about it in this conference. I will not repeat. Already we are witnessing a remarkable increase in cage fishing around the lake, especially in Homa Bay, Busia, Migori, Siaya, and Kisumu counties. This must be expanded to cover more areas. Opportunities exist in the bloc to unlock to the full potential of Western Kenya tourism circuit. That too has been discussed at this conference, and I hope the proposals made will be implemented. Investors keen on areas of nature and wildlife tourism, agro-tourism, water sports, and so on. This region offered tremendous opportunity for that. Finally, Mr. Deputy President, I was in Parliament for so long that sometimes I forget. Finally, Mr. Deputy President, Nyanza in general and the LREB region, we need to do two things. Identify all the key economic opportunities within the LREB, for it is only through this that the bloc shall unlock sectors with greater potential and untapped resources. Two, explore and come up with viable strategies for pooling resources and expertise among counties to attract investment, foster entrepreneurship, and stimulate economic development. Three, evaluate the regulatory framework and policy environment to identify areas for improvement and reforms that can facilitate investment and economic growth. Four, examine initiatives to enhance skills and capacities and capabilities of the local workforce to meet the demands of emerging industries and attract investment. Fifth and finally, explore ways to attract domestic and foreign investment into the region by highlighting its unique selling points, investment incentives, and investment-friendly policies, which has been the purpose of this conference. And I thank the professionals for having initiated this discussion through the good offices of Wana Uwalu. Thank you very much, fellow colleagues.